What if the person you believe you need to forgive the most is not the one who hurt you, but the version of them still living inside your unconscious mind? And what if true healing isn't about changing your relationship with your mother, but changing your relationship with the inner image of her that still holds power over your self-worth, your choices, your soul? This video will take you somewhere most people avoid, into the forgotten corridors of the mother archetype, and how it shapes your sense of self, your emotional life, and your ability to live freely. Inspired by the deep psychological work of Carl Jung, though this is not a comfortable journey, but it is a necessary one, because until you confront this inner imprint, healing will always feel just out of reach. Before we begin, subscribe to Deep Psyche and join our community. Each video here is crafted for your soul's evolution, rooted in depth psychology, spiritual growth, and emotional truth. Now let's begin. Carl Jung coined the term mother complex to describe the unconscious patterns we form in childhood around the figure of the mother. These patterns don't disappear with age. They become internal blueprints that silently guide how we love, how we fear, how we relate. This isn't about blame, it's about recognition. It's about how a psychic imprint of her, the unmet emotional resonance, still lingers within. Maybe she loved you, but her love came with conditions. Maybe she was present, but emotionally distant. Or maybe she was hurting so deeply that there was no room left for your needs. These experiences don't just pass. They write a script in your nervous system, one that says, to be loved, I must be perfect. To be safe, I must stay small. To belong, I must abandon myself. You're not fighting your mother anymore. You're battling the voice she left behind, a voice that lives in your fears, your habits, your inability to rest without guilt or love without anxiety. But naming the voice isn't enough. You have to meet the archetype itself. In Jungian psychology, archetypes are not people. They are psychic energies, universal patterns that shape how we see and experience life. The mother archetype is one of the most potent. At its highest, she is warmth, origin, unconditional love. But when distorted, she becomes control, self-denial, and fear of abandonment. This inner mother may sound like your real mother, but she lives within you. And she tells you things like, your needs are too much, your ambition is selfish, your truth will make you unlovable. What's worse is that this unintegrated mother archetype follows you into your adult life. You begin seeking partners, friends, even mentors, not as equals, but as unconscious surrogates to fulfill an old emotional hunger. And when they fail, to do so because they will, you feel rejected again, not because they've harmed you, but because an ancient wound has been reactivated. To break this cycle, you must observe, witness when your reactions are rooted not in the moment, but in a myth, a psychic echo of your past. This is the work of individuation, to make the unconscious conscious, to stop being ruled by what you inherited. But there's something deeper that keeps you stuck. Let's talk about that. Bert Hellinger called it invisible loyalty, the belief that if you outgrow your mother's pain, you've betrayed her. So, you remain small. You dim before success. You walk away from joy. You repeat patterns not because they work, but because they feel familiar. And sometimes, you mirror her suffering. If she was abandoned, you fear closeness. If she was silent, you hesitate to speak. If she was unfulfilled, you unconsciously sabotage your dreams. But her wounds are not your burden. Her pain is not your identity. And your life is not her redemption arc. Healing is not betrayal. It's love in its truest form. It says, I rise not to leave you behind, but to end the cycle that bound us both. If this video is helping you see more clearly, share it with someone who needs this message. And if you haven't already, subscribe to Deep Psyche and turn on notifications, so you never miss the soul wisdom that could shift your entire life. Now let's go deeper. Reparenting is the key. This is the moment where you become the mother your inner child always needed. When sadness arises, don't dismiss it. When fear shows up, don't criticize yourself. When exhaustion hits, don't call yourself weak. Ask, what do I need right now? What would a truly loving mother say in this moment? This is not indulgence. This is responsibility. You become your own source of warmth, of regulation, of emotional safety. You validate without shame. You give yourself permission to rest, to dream, to feel. You say yes to yourself without guilt or apology. This is the rebirth of self-worth. And from this space, you stop projecting the unmet mother onto others. You start relating as a whole person, not a fragment looking to be completed. But here's the truth. Breaking the pattern doesn't mean erasing the past. It means reclaiming your power. You may never get the apology. You may never have the ideal mother. But that doesn't mean you can't be whole. You are no longer that wounded child. You can choose. Choose to no longer be ruled by an old story. Choose to stop making pain your identity. Choose to speak, to expand, to love freely. Notice the moments when you shrink, when you apologize for being, when you seek approval before acting on your truth. These are doorways. Ask yourself, who taught me this, and do I want to carry it forward? That's where adulthood begins, not with age but with inner authorship. When your values, not your wounds, lead the way. When you pause and choose again. That's how the pattern ends, not in one dramatic moment, but in quiet revolutions repeated daily. And what replaces the pain? Joy without guilt, love without dependency, self-worth that doesn't beg for proof. This is what you reclaim when you stop being loyal to what broke you. Let your adult self take the lead. Let your clarity speak louder than inherited shame. Let your boundaries become your sanctuary. This is what it means to be free, not the absence of wounds, but the presence of inner power. You don't have to cut ties with your mother, but you do have to redefine her place in your psyche, because the mother you seek is not behind you. She is within you. She is you. And when you integrate her consciously, you love without distortion. You belong to yourself. If this video spoke to you, comment below. I am the end of the pattern. Subscribe to Deep Psyche for more soulful, psychologically deep content, and share this with someone ready to reclaim their life. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be present. You are not your wound. You are the one healing it. And that changes everything.